Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We got a big story out of the BBC, out of the UK. You're being absolutely lied to. As a matter of fact, it's going to get pretty ugly, to be honest with you. Today, it looks like Liz Truss is going to succeed Boris Johnson. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing you can't trust Liz Truss for, and that is her ability or desire to freeze energy bills. I don't care who you are. If you try, here, first off, let me do this. Liz, you nailed it. You nailed the one thing that all throughout history, when you move from capitalism into socialism, absolutely 100% of the time works every time. I mean, you fail, and this will fail. So first off, I don't care who you are. If you think you could shut off the inflation that you cause as a government, right? You're leading the government. I don't care if you just got in. You got in because people wanted to change, right? Well, that's not the change they need. And I'm going to explain this very, very clearly. But first, we're going to do a couple bullet points from this brilliant piece of you can't make this crap up. All right, it says new Prime Minister Liz Truss used her victory speech to pledge to deliver on the energy crisis by dealing with bills as well as supplies. A freeze on energy bills is understood to be one of the number of options being worked up in Whitehall to help struggling households cope with the soaring cost of gas and electricity. All right, cool. Miss Truss, I'm going to give you the economic ninja, the number one lesson you need to learn when you're running a country, okay? That is, you can't shut the spigot off when it comes to the price. And this is why. Because the company that you just say, you're not allowed to charge any more to, I don't care if they're making gangbuster profits. You know what they're going to say? Copy, we're closing our doors. Because why would we do this? Well, we're here to make money. That's what companies do. Now, the great thing about a free market is when you say, you know what, this crap's too high. I'm going to go find another place. That's great, because then you let the fittest win, right? That's why governments should not bail out corporations. Now, here's the problem, and this is something that I am totally standing behind. I gotta say, this is crazy. The we're not going to pay movement that's building up right now, because these companies are making huge profits, and they are going to be subject of the possibility if 1 million people sign up for this No Pay UK, they're going to sign up and go, we're not going to pay our bills. If it hits, I think, 1 million people in October. And I'm going to be honest with you, I could totally see that happening. And then there's some issues, right? Because if you make that jump and the company goes, oh my gosh, we don't have enough money to pay, there's got to be some concessions. Here's the problem though. See, the futures market plays so heavily into what energy companies pay for materials to build infrastructure, for the materials. Let's say if it's a nuclear power plant, you know, the price of uranium gets expensive. It's like, hey, it costs more, right? And so that's also at play here. It's not just a company that's profiteering. It is the extreme costs of poor decisions from government officials from literally 10 years ago, right? Excessive money printing, stupid policies, things like that, right? That's why I like capitalism. True capitalism is when you let the best survive, the fittest survive, not monopolies. When you start seeing monopolies coming out, like right now you see with power companies, people have very little options to fight back. And right now, the people are getting ready to fight back. And they go, hey, if we get 1 million signatures, we're gonna all of a sudden stop paying. That is gonna put the hurt on the utilities. But here's the problem. Here's the big problem. If all of a sudden you do that and the company goes, dude, we're done. Like, we can't pay our bills. We either need a bailout from the government or we're done. We're shutting off our lights. We own those power lines. Then the government has to step in. That's scary. A government-run utility. Wonder how well that's going to go. How long is that going to last, right? But here you've got someone just coming in Prime Minister. Hey, this is one of the things on the table. Well, it's not going to work. It never has worked. Anytime you try and freeze an industry and pigeonhole them to say, hey, you can't raise rates anymore, they just go, copy, watch this, see how this one hits you. And it always ends up bad for the consumer. The problem is that people aren't looking at the source of the problem. See, if we as a people, human beings around the world, weren't in debt, we wouldn't be relying on people for all of these things. I'll give an example. It's one thing to say your power has gone up, but honestly, if you look at the price of power since the early 90s, it's gone up exponentially already, right? The problem is that you could deal with certain higher prices. Rich people can deal with this, right? Wealthy people, because they don't have the debt load that the the common man does. And that's what is so important. We've got to get out of debt. Debt is what controls us. Debt is what is always held over the top of us. And no politician in their right mind is going to be able to help this situation like Liz Truss. And I think that's the most important thing that we need to do. We need to take back our freedom by giving up debt and getting out of debt, not getting into new debt, and then finding opportunities and going out and crushing it because you have the ability to, because you don't have to go to your 9-to-5 job right now all the time just to make ends meet. Right? I want people out of debt. This is how we solve this. The more out of debt we are as human beings, the less power and authority these governments and conglomerates have over us. Think about that. That's the true message, guys. All right, I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to link this story below, but I think this is a total crap show, and it's only going to get worse this month. All right, with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.